Multi-shot prompting is what separates random AI output from true storytelling. To master it, you need to think like a film director. So I've gathered 20 essential scene shots, from standard wide shots to advanced techniques like the SnorriCam and dirty over the shoulder, so you can control the AI camera and build professional scenes from scratch. So the first shot is extreme wide shot, and it is used to establish massive scale and isolation. So here is our first shot, let's look at it. So we have a dome research station. It obviously starts from a wide view. Nice. So now to make this scene much better, we'll be using multi-shots using this prompt that contains 4 different scenes. So the first scene is wide shot, then transitioning to the second shot, and then we have POV view through the window, and then transitioning to the fourth shot, which is once again wide shot of the environment here. Nice, so let's look at the full. During this tutorial, I'm going to provide both standalone and multi-shot prompts on screen, and you can also find every prompt used here on my website techtutorzone.com for free. The second one is worm's eye view, where the camera is basically looking straight up from the ground. For the AI video model here, I will be using Grok Imagine, so let's look at the video. Nice, so you see the camera is kind of on the ground, so worm's eye view, and looking straight up. Very good video. Now we have something very similar, which is ground level shot. And basically, what is the difference? So worm's eye view is an extremely low camera angle looking straight up, and ground level view is also low but natural angle. So let's look at this video. You see, now the camera is still on the ground, but not looking up, looking kind of in the normal perspective. Often used in this kind of shots. Oh yeah. A quick note on my workflow. I generate all these examples on Loova.ai. It's an all-in-one platform for AI image and video that hosts all the best models I'm showing you today. This is a huge deal because Seedance 2.0 has officially been released globally now on Loova. If you want to follow along with the same setup I'm using, the link is in the description. Now the fourth one is over the shoulder shot and reverse over the shoulder. Here we are looking at the subject from behind the shoulder of another person, and it is a lot used in dialogue and confrontations. So here we have our scene in Kling 3.0. So the first shot over the shoulder to the suspect, and then reverse over the shoulder to the investigator. So yeah, this is used a lot in Hollywood and in any filmmaking. Also we have this one. They're staring at each other. Very nice movement and very nice video created by Kling. Then we have the SnorriCam, where camera is rigged to the actor facing them. And interestingly enough, name is not coming from the word snoring, but from the surname of 2 Icelandic directors, Einar and Auður Snorri, who created the chest-mounted camera rig to capture, those disorienting POV shots. And it became popular after being used in the films like P and Requiem for a Dream. So here is our guy created with Grok Imagine. Looks pretty nice. Weird, but nice. Interestingly enough, I also created this scene with Kling 3.0, and by my opinion, Grok produced better results here. You see, he's not really running, he's kind of spinning. Background is spinning behind him. Of course, I could redo the prompt and make it better, but I wanted to show you everything with the first prompt. Then we have the standard wide shot, which captures the subject's entire body and their immediate surroundings. And here is our steampunk scientist working in his lab. He's producing probably some kind of whiskey. Then we have something officially called Cowboy shot or American shot. It is a medium wide shot framed from the mid-thigh up to the head. So here is our sheriff, and you notice from the thighs up to his head shot. And now the shot is coming closer because I didn't specify for camera to not move. You don't need to do that, but if you'd like to have a static shot, you need to specify for camera to not move because AI will sometimes move the camera automatically. And this shot was created in Seedance. And now we have the medium shot, which is very similar, but it is framed from the waist up. And it is one of the most natural way to view a person on the camera. Here I prepare the section of a player. And you notice from the waist up, exactly as we told it to. And then switching to the profile shot, as it was described in the multi-shot prompt. And then we have a close-up shot, which focuses almost entirely on the subject's face. So here is our chef, first close-up, and then transitioning to the wide shot. Similar example, close-up, and then a wide shot. And yeah, we also have a shot officially called choker shot, which is basically an ultra-tight frame from just above the eyebrows to just below the mouth. It is often used to capture raw emotion like in this lady. Of course, we also have extreme close-up, which zooms in on a specific feature like an eye or a mouth, for example. And here we'll be using both standalone and a multi-shot just to showcase both. Here is our eye. This is standard, nothing new, but used a lot in filmmaking. So first we have extreme close-up of the key and the lock, and then switching to a medium shot of a man opening a door, of course. Very nice little scene. Then we have a macro shot, which is used to film extreme details of tiny objects like insects, textures, tech, and similar. Here is the droplet of the ink in the slow motion. Yeah, nothing new here, but I need to mention that kind of shot also. Point of view shot is used a lot, and basically here the camera places the eyes of the character, kind of to put the audience directly in the shoes of the protagonist. Here our protagonist is the parachuter. Then we have the Dutch angle, and I mentioned that one also in my video about 38 camera moves. And here the camera is tilted on its horizontal axis to create a sense of unease. So look at the angle and the axis, how it looks like. Now in the other direction. It looks kind of a hypnotic, very interesting. Vertigo feeling. Then we have also a bird eyes view, which is shot directly above the subject. And here we also use the multi-shot prompting, so we have the car, bird's eye view, switching to the guy calmly driving his, is this BMW? I don't know, could be. Let's see. Here it looks like M package. We also need to mention something called frame within a frame, and here we are using the environment, doorway, window, or a peephole to frame the subject. Here is our subject gently combing her hair in the toilet, in the bathroom. Yes, so frame within a frame. You wouldn't believe it, but we also have something called Italian shot or Leone's close-up, basically based on the Sergio Leone's spaghetti westerns, where we have a widescreen extreme close-up focusing only on the eyes. For example, like this. Or like this. A little bit too much sweat, I would say here. But nonetheless. Of course, the profile shot or side view is a standard in filmmaking, so no need for explanation here. Let's just look at the video. She's looking peacefully at the city from her balcony. Yes, meditation on the balcony. Sometimes directors want for camera to look through a solid object like a glass, and this is called true object shot. Like here we have a family at the dinner and the fish bowl, and the camera is looking through that fish bowl, distorting the man and his nose. Now this technique is also used a lot, and it's called reflection shot. Basically, subject is seen in a mirror, puddle, or an eye, for example. So our subject is reflecting from the mirror here. I like that one. Switching to the medium shot, where we both see her and the reflection. She is thinking, what have I done today? And that's 20 shots to turn your AI generations into cinema. You can find every prompt we used today at techtutorzone.com. And don't forget to check out Loova.ai for all your generation needs. Thanks for watching, and go put this prompt to work. And I'll catch you in the next video.